Aryna Sabalenka sends 5-word message as she shares rare glimpse of her father on his death anniversary. Aryna Sabalenka's father, Sergei Sabalenka, tragically passed away unexpectedly in November 2019 at the age of 43 due to meningitis. She recently shared a heartfelt message in remembrance of him on the anniversary of his death. Aryna Sabalenka remembers her father Sergei on his death anniversary. Sabalenka was born to Sergei and Yulia in 1998. Sergei was a Belarusian ice hockey player who introduced the world number 1 to tennis. This year, to honor her father on his death anniversary, Sabalenka took to social media and shared a video of her father, Sergei, training in the gym. In her post, she expressed that it has been 6 years since she has been living without him. On the tennis side of things, Sabalenka concluded her 2025 season after finishing as the runner-up to Aryna Rybakina at the WTA Finals. She also won 4 titles this year: the Brisbane International, the Miami Open, the Madrid Open, and the US Open. Aryna Sabalenka about her father Sergei's death. It was something unexpected. Speaking about her father Sergei after his passing, Sabalenka described his death as unexpected, since he was only 43 years old. She shared that it became mentally tough for her to practice and leave her family behind to compete. She mentioned that she left her family to play because it was necessary for her career. It was something unexpected. He was young, he was 43, and I didn't want to say that, but I think people should know. It was tough to practice mentally. I couldn't leave because I knew it was a tough situation with my family and I couldn't leave them, but somehow I needed to go. I wasn't excited about the matches, I just went there because I have to. My dad wanted me to be number 1, Sabalenka said. The world number 1 mentioned that after Sergei's death, she started going to church from time to time to light candles for him and her grandfather in their memory. When I lost my dad, from time to time, I would go to the church and put a candle for his memory and the memory of my grandfather. It's something you never show on social media. I'm not gonna be the one in the church filming, she said. Looking ahead, Sabalenka is set to kick off her 2026 season at the Brisbane International, which will take place from January 4th to January 11th, 2026, on outdoor hard courts at the Queensland Tennis Centre in Brisbane, Australia. She will enter the WTA 500 hardcourt tournament as the defending champion, having won the title in 2025 by defeating qualifier Polina Kudermetova in the final. Aryna Sabalenka had always been a force wrapped in fire, her serves thunderous, her presence larger than stadium shadows, her spirit impossible to quiet. Yet once a year, on a quiet day that rarely made the headlines, the intensity dimmed. The roar that carried her through battles on court softened into something gentler, something human. That day was her father's death anniversary, an annual pause in the otherwise relentless march of her life. This year, the moment came as she was preparing for the preseason grind. The world was already fueling predictions about her next Grand Slam run. Would she start the year with another fearless push? Would she rise again to challenge the likes of Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek, and Naomi Osaka? But Aryna had slipped out of the spotlight for a moment, choosing reflection instead of rivalry. She opened her phone, scrolling through a folder she rarely touched, pictures, grainy and sun-washed, taken long before anyone outside Belarus knew her name. One photo in particular always stopped her heartbeat for a second. It was her father, Konstantin, standing proudly behind her as she held an oversized junior trophy, her grin missing 2 front teeth, her hair a messy tangle of determination. The world knew she loved him. The world also knew he never got to see the full height of her success. But what the world didn't know was how deeply she carried him into every match, every scream, every clenched fist, and every heartbroken loss. Aryna tapped her screen, selected the photo, and hovered for a long moment over the caption box. Words rarely failed her. Her honesty was famous, sometimes even feared. She had spoken bluntly about emotions, wins, controversies, and heartbreak. But when it came to him, her vocabulary always felt too small, too fragile. This time she chose only 5 words. For you. Always for you. She pressed post. The glimpse of her father, standing behind a young girl who had no idea she would one day become one of the most electric forces in tennis, flooded her feed with waves of love. Fans from every corner responded. They remembered the story she had told. His belief that she would become world number 1, his dream that she would lift a Grand Slam trophy, his constant reminder that her power came from her heart, not her arms. Aryna put her phone down after a few minutes. The message was not for the world, it had simply passed through the world. It was for him. And as memories surfaced, she let herself drift back to one particular day, one that shaped her, one she never shared. It was winter in Minsk, the kind that carved frost into windows. Aryna, still a teenager, had returned from a junior tournament where she had lost early. She was furious, pacing the small living room, her racket bag thrown into a corner. Her father watched her with that amused patience only parents possessed. "You hate losing more than anyone I know," he laughed. "I shouldn't have lost," she grumbled. "I should be better." "Then be better." She froze. "You're not supposed to say that." "You don't want soft things," he replied. "You want truth. And the truth is you can be better. You already know it. That's why you're angry." He tapped her forehead lightly. "Strong head. Strong heart. Strong body. When those three move together, nobody will stop you." She rolled her eyes then, but every year since, she chased that alignment with everything inside her. Back in the present, Aryna tied her shoelaces and headed toward the training court. The air outside was brisk, the kind that stung her lungs just enough to make her feel alive. She liked mornings like this, when the world was quiet, when no cameras intruded, and when her path felt narrow and focused. Her coach greeted her with a nod. "Ready?" "Always," she replied. She tossed a ball, feeling its weight roll across her fingertips. Then she paused. The words she had posted were echoing in her mind. "For you. Always for you." She took her stance. Boom. The first serve exploded down the tee. She imagined her father somewhere just beyond the baseline, arms crossed, head held high. The same stance he had each time she competed as a child. She remembered his habit of barely reacting. No wild cheering, no jumping, just a steady presence that somehow felt louder than applause. Another serve. Boom. Her coach whistled softly. "You're hitting clean today." Aryna shrugged. "He's watching." She didn't say it dramatically. It was simply the truth she carried. On days like this, the connection felt almost physical, as if the air vibrated differently, as if her spine stood straighter. As practice intensified, ground strokes, footwork, serves, return drills, she kept that sense of presence with her. It turned her movements sharper, her screams louder, her focus deeper. Emotion had always been her fuel, and today her fuel tank was overflowing. After 2 hours, she took a break, sitting on a bench with a towel around her shoulders. She checked her phone again. Messages from fellow players had filled her inbox, some short,